Scripture to consider before the news. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. We look to be reaching the end of the beginning of sorrows and will soon start the 70th week because, as you can see, making peace deals with Israel is the trending topic right now. Now unto the news. Russia, China, and Iran to hold joint naval drills in Indian Ocean soon. Russia plans to hold joint naval drills with Iran and China in the Indian Ocean later this month, the RIA news agency cited Moscow's ambassador to Tehran as saying on Monday. The three countries held similar naval drills in the Indian Ocean in December 2019. The next multilateral naval exercises will take place in the northern part of the Indian Ocean in mid-February 2021, Levan Jagarian, the ambassador, told RIA in an interview. The drills would rehearse search and rescue operations and ensuring the safety of shipping, he said. Speaking in 2019, Iranian flotilla Admiral Gholamreza Tahani said that the result of the exercise is to show that Iran cannot be isolated, Reuters reported at the time. The Iranian state broadcaster at the time said the drills included rescuing ships on fire or vessels under attack by pirates and shooting exercises. It is possible the upcoming naval drills will take place near the Gulf of Oman, a sensitive waterway which connects to the Strait of Hormuz, through which about a fifth of the world's oil passes. U.S. President Joe Biden ordered at the beginning of the month that the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier will return home. U.S. Naval Institute News says that the Nimitz was operating within the U.S. 7th Fleet off the coast of West India when it got the order to go home after nearly 8 months on the water. In related news which also pertains to the coming Prince of the Covenant, spoken of by the prophet Daniel, U.S. General says Washington will help Saudi Arabia defend against common threat of Iran. The U.S. will continue to help Saudi Arabia defend itself, efficiently and effectively, against the common threat of Iran, Washington's military chief in the region said on Monday. General Frank McKenzie, the head of U.S. Central Command (CENTCOM), said nothing had been said or done by Joe Biden's new administration that would stop the U.S. working with the kingdom against Tehran's destabilizing activities. Our focus there is going to be to do things that will help them, Saudi Arabia, defend themselves more effectively and efficiently, Gen. McKenzie told the Middle East Institute. There's a common threat there and that common threat is Iran. Biden said last week that the U.S. would continue to help Saudi Arabia defend its territory and people from Iranian attacks through its proxy forces, including the Houthi militants in Yemen. Over the last several weeks a number of attacks have been launched out of Yemen against Saudi Arabia, Gen. McKenzie said. We will help the Saudis defend against those attacks by giving them intelligence when we can. In his outline of the U.S. military position in the Middle East and Afghanistan, Gen. McKenzie referred to a drone and missile attack on Saudi Arabia's oil facilities in September 2019 that shook global energy markets. The attack was widely blamed on Iran. He said the threat of a similar attack remained very real. Anything we can do to assist the Saudis in getting better and more effective in defending against that attack is good for them and good for us as well, Gen. McKenzie said. Under the Donald Trump presidency, the U.S. targeted Iran with a maximum pressure campaign after withdrawing from the 2015 nuclear deal. His administration unleashed punishing sanctions and dispatched military resources to the Gulf in a bid to deter Iran from ramping up its aggressive foreign policy in the region. In January 2020, the U.S. assassinated the regime's most powerful military figure, Qasem Soleimani, in an airstrike at Baghdad airport. While tensions between the U.S. and Iran remain high in the Arabian Gulf, Gen. McKenzie said Washington's stance in the region had sent a signal, clearly received by the Iranian regime. I believe our presence in the region, mostly defensive in nature, has brought us to a period of contested deterrence with Iran, he said. That presence sends a clear and unambiguous signal of our capability and will. In the online event, which included Gerald Fierstein, a former U.S. ambassador to Yemen, Gen. McKenzie said Iran remained the most challenging driver of instability in the Middle East. Along with Yemen, he referred to Iran's influence in Syria and Iraq, which he said Tehran uses as a proxy battlefield. He welcomed the move last month by Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Bahrain to repair ties with Qatar, saying a united GCC helped the US at a practical military level. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified whenever new Bible prophecy news videos are uploaded. Scripture to consider: I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. Take heed, God's land, the land of Israel will indeed be parted, as it is written in the book of the prophet Joel. Back to the news. Saudi Arabia committed to a Palestinian state, Prince Faisal tells Arab League. Saudi Arabia is committed to a Palestinian state, with East Jerusalem as its capital, the kingdom's foreign minister said on Monday. Prince Faisal bin Farhan was speaking during an emergency meeting of Arab League foreign ministers in Cairo. The meeting took place as leaders from rival Palestinian factions Hamas and Fatah also held talks in Egypt. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry said Cairo was working to ensure reconciliation between the two sides succeeds. Shoukry warned Israel against any change in the status of Jerusalem, and stressed the importance of the Palestinian refugees' right of return. During an opening address, Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit said the Palestinian issue is the focus of Arab consensus. He called for the relaunch of negotiations between the Palestinians and Israel, and renewed the Arab League's commitment to support Palestine until it achieves independence. The Palestinian position must be strengthened internally and externally, he said. He said that while Israel continues to undermine the two-state solution, the Palestinian people are also losing confidence in that outcome. Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi said the Palestinian issue is the key to stability in the region, and Amman was ready to engage with the new U.S. administration to achieve peace. Prince Faisal used his address to condemn attacks by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi militia against civilian targets and hit out at Iran's destabilizing role in the region. We call on the international community to put an end to Iran's violations and its threat to the region, he said. Prince Faisal held meetings with his Palestinian counterpart Riyad al-Maliki and his Iraq's Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And stay tuned to Watchman Report for more Bible prophecy news. To learn how to receive forgiveness of sins and get your name in the Book of Life, visit beingjustified.com today. Behold, now is the accepted time, behold, now is the day of salvation. Tomorrow is not promised, make sure your eternal soul is being justified.